What's going on, guys? In today's video, I'll show you the top 3 best Moblade builds in Where Winds Meet. With the release shaking up the meta, new weapon synergies, reworked gear sets, and refined class compositions are changing how builds are dominating the game. No matter if you're focused on tanking or doing high DPS, these builds will give you insane power. We will cover everything from mystic arts, to gear, to internal skills, then even martial arts and rotations, and so much more. This is the Moblades and Spear Tank build, which is a setup built entirely around soaking up massive amounts of damage while still hitting ridiculously hard. The Stormbreaker Spear acts as your frontline tool, while the Thundercry Blade becomes the execution weapon that cashes out all your stacked buffs. What defines this combination is the combat will resource, shared between both weapons. Instead of relying on stamina, your offense and defense rotate around gaining will through blocks and losing will through your strongest skills. The more you stay in the fight, the more will you generate, and the more consistently you can unleash high-level charge attacks. The Stormbreaker Spear starts the engine. Its light and heavy chains are simple, but they're just tools to hold space until your real power. So the charge attack and heavy skill comes online. The charge attack gives full super armor and ends with the push buff, increasing your next charge attack's damage by 15%. This buff is the heartbeat of the build, enabling the Moblade to enter its devastating formation breaker window. And then, the Thundercry Blade provides the burst and payoff. Its level 3 charges consume combat will to unleash enormous single target or AoE hits, depending on whether you charge light or heavy. Its heavy skill pulls enemies together, while applying focus, which makes your next charge 50% faster. Then, our martial arts enhance this synergy by increasing super armor uptime on spear attacks, extending weakened durations, and boosting charge attack speed and posture damage on the Moblade. Higher tier martial arts turn the build into a near unstoppable bruiser that shrugs off interrupts and cycles charge attacks almost endlessly. Gear naturally leans into durability mixed with charge effect stacking. Also, max HP, damage reduction, defense, and charged attack modifiers all reinforce your tank identity. Block strength and fortified guard bonuses are especially valuable because they feed directly into your combat will economy. Refined stats like crit rate or elemental damage further enhance your execution phases without compromising survival. Mystic arts polish the tanking loop. Arts that extend super armor, increase movement speed during charging, or create control zones keep enemies locked in your range. Formation Breaker benefits massively from stamina-related arts because it temporarily erases stamina restrictions. Then, talents reinforce this consistency. Early HP, mitigation, and guard talents smooth the build. Boss talents that reward taking hits naturally activate. PvP talents, like CC Resistance, surprisingly boost PvE performance because they help maintain rotation flow. Internals complete the build's identity. Charged attack amplifiers, super armor extenders, guard recovery boosters, and internals that convert shields into offense align perfectly with Moblade mechanics. And finally, for our rotation, we start fights with a heavy skill, then spear light skill, then charged spear attack. Now swap weapons, then next use Moblade heavy skill, then now Moblade light skill. Then next, we got to use our full formation breaker window until will runs low, and from here, just rinse and repeat. This Moblade and sword build revolves around fluid aggression, rapid mobility, and devastating charged finishers. The sword acts as your tempo engine, opening every fight with fast strikes, gap closers, and quick charge pressure, while the Moblade serves as the execution tool that cashes out all that built momentum. What makes this pairing so strong is how naturally the sword builds windows for the Moblade, so every stagger, dash, slash, and weave forces openings that let you safely enter Formation Breaker and unload your hardest hitting attacks. This creates a rhythm-based DPS playstyle that excels against bosses, performs consistently in open-world combat, and scales extremely well with crit-focused stats. Martial arts enhance this foundation by sharpening both mobility and charge efficiency. Sword-related martial arts accelerate charge generation, reduce interruption risk, and increase posture damage, allowing you to quickly destabilize enemies before swapping to the Moblade. And then Moblade martial arts increase super armor uptime, raise charged attack speed, and improve charge impact multipliers, making Formation Breaker smoother and far deadlier. Together, they produce a fast-flowing loop where the sword initiates and controls neutral, and the Moblade concludes with heavyweight pressure. Interway choices unify the build. Morale Chant supplies constant self-healing and offensive stacking that refresh automatically, during combat. Adaptive Steel boosts crit damage on all charged Moblade skills, particularly Avalanche and Gale Cloud Cleave. Exquisite Scenery increases Thundercry Blade's charge speed, which is essential for keeping Formation Breaker rotations tight. Battle Anthem adds a strong flat damage increase that keeps DPS stable even outside burst sequences. Then Mystic Skills provide burst setup and sustained pressure. Leaping Toad offers fast damage with a poison explosion finisher that pairs well with sword strings. Dragon's Breath delivers heavy damage over time output and becomes instant cast after its first use, which is perfect for slotting between Moblade charges. Wolf-like Frenzy gives a knockdown that secures your formation window, and then Ghostbind locks enemies long enough to guarantee clean charge hits. Gear naturally leans into durability, mixed with charge amplification. Max HP, damage reduction, defense, and charged attack modifiers all reinforce your frontline identity. Block strength and fortified guard bonuses are especially valuable because they feed directly into your combat will economy. Refined stats like crit rate or elemental damage further enhance your execution phases without compromising survival. Talents reinforce consistency. Early HP, mitigation, and guard talents smooth the build. Boss talents that reward taking hits naturally activate. PvP talents like CC Resistance surprisingly boost PvE performance because they help maintain rotation flow. And finally, for our rotation, we want to open with Sword Quick Strings, combining in fast charges to break posture. When an opening appears, swap to Moblade, use Heavy Skill into Light Skill, and then enter Full Formation Breaker until charges taper. Refresh Dragon's Breath or Leaping Toad during downtime, then return to Sword to rebuild momentum before repeating the cycle all over again. This Moblade and Umbrella build forms a paladin-like hybrid of tankiness, self-healing, and steady charged damage. It is slower than other weapon pairs, but it excels in survivability and sustain-heavy boss fights. The Umbrella serves as your defensive core, maintaining shields, providing healing, and controlling space through its airborne totem. The Moblade remains the primary damage dealer, delivering powerful charged finishers and formation breaker chains once safety is secured. This combination creates an unshakable, self-sustaining frontline build that can handle any PvE challenge without relying on external support. Martial arts enhance this defensive and offensive loop. Umbrella-related martial arts expand your healing radius, reduce cooldowns, increase shield strength, and improve the Umbrella's ability to mitigate chip damage. While on the other hand, Moblade-related martial arts increase charge speed, extend super armor, and raise charged attack multipliers, making it much easier to complete Avalanche and Gale Cloud Cleave without interruption. The combination ensures you can tank through enemy aggression while still maintaining consistent damage output. And then, Umbrella talents multiply your sustain and defensive uptime. Talents that increase the airborne totem's healing throughput, widen its radius, reduce cooldowns, and boost shield values transform it into a roaming support structure that keeps you and your team constantly stabilized. Additional talents that strengthen block frames and reduce stamina consumption make you nearly impossible to break in prolonged encounters. Our inner way choices match build 2, but tuned a little bit for endurance. Morale Chant fuels constant healing and damage stacking. Adaptive Steel still empowers crit damage on Moblade finishers. Exquisite Scenery remains essential for charge speed on Thundercry Blade, and Battle Anthem adds scalable damage that offsets the Umbrella's slower offense. Mystic Skills fill the remaining gaps. Leaping Toad adds Quick Burst and Poison Detonation for extra DPS. Dragon's Breath provides sustained damage over time pressure and becomes instant after its first cast, which is ideal for switching between long Moblade animations. Wolf-like Frenzy gives a knockdown to secure charge windows. Ghostbind ensures enemies stay still long enough for you to complete empowered charges. And utility skills, like Golden Body or Guardian Palm, can also be slotted when survivability becomes more important than burst. Gear should emphasize max HP, healing bonus, block strength, cooldown reduction, and elemental damage tied to healing scaling. Later refinement can add energy regen, on-heal effects, and charged attack bonuses to keep rotations smooth and uptime consistent. Then, talents across both weapons and the base tree should support tankiness, so HP upgrades, guard strength, healing amplification, CC resistance, and stamina mitigation, as they allow you to maintain uninterrupted flow. And finally, for our rotation, we open with Umbrella skills to establish healing and shielding, then weapon swap into Moblade. Start with Heavy Skill into Light Skill, then cycle Sunrush Gale, then Gale Cloud Cleave, and then finish with Avalanche. Maintain Echoes of 1,000 Plants for constant healing, When its duration ends, reapply Umbrella Healing, stabilize, and repeat the full Moblade rotation.